Hey everyone, and welcome to the next element tutorial in my Planet Coaster series, where today we're actually going to be looking at the non-inverting or Junior Immelmann. This is quite a new element that has been, popping up on coasters such as Icon at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. I think Black Mamba at Phantasialand has one. I don't know if any other coasters, there's no coasters coming to my head that have the Junior Immelmanns, but I know that they are, they're popping up on new coasters, but they're really weird to build. But basically, I'm just going to show you a quick premise of how to build mainly the Mac coaster style one like Icon, because I know that those ones are quite cool to build because Intamin coasters have been having them pop up as well, I think. So non-inverting elements are a new thing. So basically, we're just going to hop in. I'm going to quickly show you the Junior Immelmann for mainly the Mac coasters, so let's hop into it now. Okay, so Junior Immelmanns, specifically on the Mac coasters, kind of have a very strange shape that they're based around. So on Icons, basically what happens is as the half loop, if I quickly just get one, about this midpoint, the track starts banking to the right, but moving, it like moves to the left, but then as it's banking to the right, which creates a really strange heartline effect, which means that the track actually ends up over here. So we're going to have to try and replicate that effect, but I have a pretty solid way that we can do that. But for this specific element tutorial, I really highly recommend that you get the mod, just for the lack of track limits, because you're going to be using a lot of vertical editing today. So I think we will start now. So basically what we're going to do, as normal, because it's a loop, we're going to start by building the actual base of the loop. So, we're just going to start gently pulling up, getting tighter as we reach the midpoint of the loop. Probably about... Okay, so about here. So you're going to pull the track up to about 93, 94 degrees. We're going to put a banking offset of about 3 foot on. We're going to make ours do the same as Icons. So we're going to start twisting to the left. Alright. Now we're going to pull it over, continuously unbanking as we reach the top of the loop. It's a really useful thing to use this side, so we can create a curved circular shape. So if we go about 50, then if we use 25 degrees, we can get a constant radius. So about 25, and then simply just basically make sure that the banking at the top here means that the riders aren't actually going to be inverted at any point. Pull that down to 25, and then we want to have this about 60 degrees at the top. As you can see there, we unbank as we reach the very apex of the inversion, so about more like 75. Right, now that we've done that, we're just going to pull the track down, unbank as we're going down, about 25 degrees again. Yeah, then we can get a constant radius. We're going to keep going down, probably down to about 45. Keep unbanking the track, and pull it down to about, I think our maximum vertical angle will go for about 55 degrees, so snap that to 0, and then place a straight piece. That looks pretty good actually so far. Sorry, I had autosave for a second there. It's gone. Now we're going to start easing up into the pull-up, so we're going to turn our offset off, and we're going to go up about initially 10 degrees. Actually, can we just get away with using 10 each time? I think the real one is a bit tighter, so we're going to actually go for more about 12 degrees each time. Offset off. Say 6, 14. Alright, so that is the basic shape down. Now we need to add the slight curvature to it, which means that the actual track, isn't going to intersect with the LSMs, which, are going to be placed about here to send the train into the actual inversion. So, basically what we're going to do now is we're simply going to put a straight piece here, very similar to the loop tutorial. We're going to take it to about, let's say about maybe that piece there. And we're going to slide it over to about about there. Now we're going to do quite a lot of track adjustment here, which is going to mean that it's going to look slightly skewed for now. Okay, so now we're going to do some very strange track adjustment. We're going to pull this all the way across, all the way over, all the way over, because this element is a very strange shape indeed. I'm going to pull this over, keep pulling it over, pull it over further. The premise of this is just keep pulling it over really until we get about here, and then we're going to start gradually pulling these ones. So we have this, it looks really wrong and quite cursed, but that is surprisingly how they build these. I do think icons is slightly at an angle that way, but for the all intents and purposes of building the tutorial, this is fine. I don't think we'd have any collision issue. Oh, maybe, but it's not really the important part. But yeah, we have the rough shape of the non-inverting Immelmann. I guess I should really call it a Junior Immelmann. It's down. You can see there that the track, I think it actually banks slightly more that way. So I'm gonna pull it out slightly more, and there we go. And the track, winds around the heart line a little bit more. And then well, no, I think that's fine. That's fine. So now that we have this done, it's time to do a slight bit of smoothing to make sure that the ride's actually going to turn out pretty smooth. So we're going to start by smoothing out the initial part of this. So select up to the piece that is just before where your banking starts, which is this one here. And we're going to hit spam smooth just a few times, not too many because these are 4-meter pieces, so they will actually move quite a lot. Okay, yeah, looks good. And now we're going to take it all. Actually, no, we're going to start with this piece. Sorry, we're going to smooth out the pull up to the non-inverting gimbal. Ooh, there's curvature on that actually. So we'll actually go for this one instead. You don't really want to smooth straight pieces with pieces that have quite a lot of curvature. Otherwise, you get some very strange effects on them. Just pull that up slightly. Hit that a few times. And then maybe pull that over a little bit more. And then, yeah, there we go, like that. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go and take this piece here down to there. Spam smooth that. Till about there. And now take the entire element and hit the spam smooth a few times. Like that. And that basically gets the radius of our Junior Immelmann nice and smooth. So now all we need to do is just go back and readjust the banking. So if I put the banking to about there, click to 90 degrees, snap. All of these are now roughly at 90 degrees. Now we do the same for down here, of course. To about there, like that. Nice. And now we simply just go back and readjust all of the banking so that our Immelmann will function correctly. I'm going to aim for it so that this piece is the one that snaps to 0. And you should have this kind of... It's a very difficult shape to describe, but you should almost have like a straight line on the outer right rail. I'm going to pull this top bit up slightly to about there. Just so the top piece is a little bit taller. Yeah, like that. And basically you should see there that it's got a nice constant turn, not turn, but unbanking as it reaches the top of the Immelmann. So I'm going to unbank that slightly more actually. This bit needs way more banking. That's a little bit too non-inverted, because that does exist. And we'll just get that to about there. And there. Yeah, okay, that looks pretty good to me. Again, I think I said this in the last tutorial, but constant tweaking of your elements before you smooth them out, it really helps. And the longer you practice building elements, the more akin you'll be to noticing slight deviations in the track layout and in bits of shaping. Like, you'll probably notice that I'm, taking random pieces and doing that a bit, and that's because I'm just tweaking it to get a shape down that I'm pretty sure will be okay. But again, most of this is generally just trial and error. You can see me here just adjusting these track pieces for seemingly no reason. But I promise you there is a method to this madness. Okay, so now that we have the actual basic shaping down of the Junior Immelmann, we're just going to turn it into 2-meter pieces, just as we normally do. So delete one, take it back, and then autocomplete, spam smooth. This is actually my first time doing a 2-meter tutorial using the Mac coaster, so it's a little bit strange using non-B&M track for this. But I've done kind of an icon recreation, but I haven't, done the scenery or supports or anything. But I have actually retracted it to 2-meter pieces, and the Junior Immelmann on that, very similarly to this one, turned out very nicely. And it's just proof that the 2-meter method is the savior of horrific banking on Planet Coaster. Anyway, yep, I'll be back when I finish turning these into 2-meter pieces. Okay, so now that we've turned the Immelmann into the 2-meter pieces now, all we need to do is simply take the entire element and spam the smooth all a few times, just as we would normally do. I did think about doing a regular Immelmann after, doing the dive loop video, but I thought that, using an Immelmann if you're doing B&M shaping is very similar to a dive loop, so you do honestly just literally build it backwards if you want to build an Immelmann. But if you'd like me to do a dive coaster Immelmann tutorial, because I know they have very specific shaping, I'd be more than happy to give that one a go. So please just feel free to leave that in the comment section below, and now we'll get around to that. And also please leave any more suggestions, should you want to see a specific tutorial. I know I've got a wing coaster, a few elements of the wing coaster that I know someone's requested, so I will get around to them soon. We've got Giga Drops as well. Support. I'm thinking of doing a custom support video alongside the Giga one, because I know that has a very specific support structure, which is a little bit fiddly to get right, because you can either get the supports too thin, too thick, the spine not good enough, but like I've made spines which just aren't good. But I think I've improved a little bit. So anyway, after that, you've just seen me, we're just going to readjust the banking now, so, turn them to 0 degrees, just like we did at the start, and now we just need to go back and sort the banking out, making sure that our Immelmann, functions properly. Do that, stop pulling this over. Honestly, again, just adjustment, probably about, I don't know, that's 141. About 10 degrees each time, but banking gets skewed your values whenever you're working on, that's actually inverting now. Banking gets skewed when you're working on a turn surface, because the actual banking values change depending on, not actually like the position of the roll, more like the position of the actual track piece and like the turn. So this here is 52 degrees, that's 71, but if I kept that at constant 52, you see it would unbank because of the the position of the actual roll. So it's a little bit trial and error, but it's Planet Coaster. What isn't trial and error in this game? We're just going to keep adjusting our banking, making sure that our Immelmann functions. But the one big thing to take away from this is absolutely always start your banking from around 90 degrees. And start on banking. Basically, your track needs to move in the opposite direction that you're rolling. For basically, how heartlining, if you bank to the right, the track then. Well, no, I guess the track kind of banks to the right. Oh no, it doesn't. If you're banking to the left, sorry, the track will then move to the right to allow the actual train's heartline to exist. So, just as you're doing this, turn the Immelmann the opposite direction the banking is, until you get to the midpoint. Then you need to really rocket it up so it misses the track. Just going to check the spine here. Looks about right. I think that looks pretty smooth. That's a bit of a snap. You can see it there in the old thing there. We can definitely do the little banking trick on this element as well. Just as a quick heads up, it works very well on this. I think I've tried this before, and it does actually work very surprisingly well. So anyway, that looks to me like our banking pretty much sorted and ready for smoothing. Provided that that actually is non-inverting. Because that really doesn't look like it's non-inverting. I take that back. I'm going to just quickly readjust these so that they are non-inverting. Like, they should be way more unbanked than that. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that looks way better. Just going to accelerate the banking at the start. A bit more like that. Again, just constant tweaking. Okay, yep. I think maybe we have to that minor setback. That should be. Yep, that looks fine. That's way better. Now we're going to start with the 6-piece smoothing, and then move on to the 3. So I'm going to just smooth this back and forth. If I had to guess, I'm going to go forwards once, backwards once, forwards once, and then backwards once to get the actual shape there. Okay, so now that the smoothing's done, well, for the 6-piece anyway, we're just going to do literally maybe one pass with the 3-piece, because already this is quite banked already, so I don't really want to skew it too much. So we're just going to start by, I think we'll literally just go forwards with it and then backwards halfway. So we're quickly going to just do the banking trick so that we can get the actual exit banking as smooth as the entrance. So, we're just going to smooth backwards to about halfway. Again, like the dive loop one, this is very difficult to nail because of the way that the actual banking works. And because we're working on a turn, a piece of track that's changing on both the X and Y axis, it's going to be a bit difficult to see this. It's usually around the 90-degree point because this is an inversion, of course. You should be able to see it's roughly about here, wherever our banking actually exceeds 90 degrees. That's where the track really starts to jolt when you smooth it. Is it here? I think it's about here. So we're going to take this piece here and twist it a little bit that way. So you can see there we've got, so we're going to bank it. I think that's more banking? Yeah, it's more banking. We're going to increase the banking slightly until we can see that the jolt is gone, or at least been minimized. And yeah, that looks pretty smooth to me. I can't see any visible jolts in it. And if you look at the exit as well, it should be a nice smooth curve. The actual Immelmann looks really nice. It's very nice indeed. So that looks to me like the shaping is pretty much done. So I think we'll give this a test and see what it's like. Yeah, you can see there a really smooth just roll over the top of the Immelmann and then back out again. If we check this from guest facing, these elements really do pull quite a lot of lateral Gs just because of the hang time and slow speed you actually roll through there. So we'll just quickly check what it's like here. Oh, very smooth indeed, especially on the exit as well. Overall, that is a very smooth element indeed. So that is the non-inverting Immelmann tutorial. It's a bit of a strange element, very specific, but I wanted to branch out and really go for, I don't think an element people have really tried to build very much. So people who want to build map coasters, new ones, don't think this, and I guarantee there isn't very much help for this kind of element because it is very, very specific, so it is more of a trial and error. So I did want to throw my method out there. This is normally how I build them. This is my first one with the 2 meter actually, besides the icon recreation. I do think you get very smooth results using it as well. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'd really like to say thank you for the support on the cryosphere video because I'm really happy that you guys really enjoyed that ride. I'm really proud with it. It's probably one of my favourite rides I've ever built. I love the terrain and the interaction, and I'm really glad you guys enjoy it as well. So thank you for the amazing support on that. We surpassed 150 subscribers as well, so that's amazing, and thank you guys so much for that. That is mind-blowing. I never thought I'd hit that, let alone 100. So to hit them in a relatively short amount of time it's mind-blowing, and I'm really grateful for all the support that you guys are given to the channel. So thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for more tutorials, and I will see you all next time.